Okay, in our last class, we eventually talked about many things about application management, software management, and everything. So when we were talking about it, we mentioned some application that you can use. Well, we talked about what Scrum is all about, what Agile is all about. We explained the difference between waterfall and the regular Agile processes. Then we also mentioned how Jira, how DevOps is also how it migrated from Agile processes, Agile project management. So today, we're just going to look at one of the tools that is used to manage ticketing and the words Scrum. So we have so many ITSM. We have so many ITSM, but Jira is one of the most popular one. The word ITSM is Information Technology System Management. What does that mean? It means an application that you can use to manage all the operations that goes on in IT. DevOps is part of IT. So they need a system that you don't need to be calling everybody every time. What are you working on, or what you have worked on, or what is the problem? Maybe there's a problem in the system. Most times you don't need to be sending mails upon mail. You can actually go to any ITSM and use that ITSM to manage the whole processes of an application. So when we talk about Scrum, that Scrum takes about 30 minutes. We can take 30 days. Sprint, we mentioned what sprint. Sprint is a timeline that we set to deliver a particular features of an application. So most times it could be 2 or 3 weeks, could be 1 month, maximum of 1 month. So within this month, this is what we are going to be doing from these product backlogs. Now, we need an ITSM that way. Make sure that everybody that is working on that sprint is controlled. So Jira is just one of it. There are so many of them. So when like this particular one, this is, you're going to be using, let's talk about this, but this template. We are using the general template. You can come here, it's free. At least for some time, it's free before you start making use of high level. You can come here, just come to athlesia.com, create a project, your own team, then use the templates. I'm using this regular template. Let's call this project Cloud Training for Enthusiasts Feb. Let's use this one. Team, let's call it IT, right? Or DevOps. But since we are under IT, we just call it an IT team. Create a project. Okay. Is this sense? So you can see, yeah, dashboard, alerts. You can start to design your alerts, create an incident, get a dashboard. Then you get your team member, your app. We can embed some app to it. You can see this is this. You see Circle CI here. You see times. You can even think it as accept Slack, but most times you use this an in-house app. Timesheet for tracking, Cypher for testing, CI/CD, Circle CI, the others. Then your work, assign work, board, queue. We don't want to explain all this. Then your projects, you can name it any project. Your filter, maybe you want to just pick up some things. Your board, look at all the boards. Let's look at the boards that we have. This is the board we have. We're using this particular one. You can call it, I think there's a way you manage your KanBAn, your Scrum, KanBAn stuff. Your dashboard. projects and everything. I come here. Class, Confluence, Jira. It's a project that are already ongoing. These are not our own project. These are just projects that are already ongoing that we can work on. And this, when we created that that template, this were the project that just that was just created for us free of charge. So let's see we can. I think when we are creating template, that's when we can even define our style of work. This is basically what this is the type of software. And this is the software development, KanBAn, Scrum, bug tracking. This is basically used for projects. Since we are DevOps engineers, these are the things we basically use. The developers uses this. We, the DevOps engineer, we use this. Does that mean that the developer, we cannot use this? Well, we don't basically fix bugs. Maybe there's an application, we don't fix it. We fix error. We can actually call our own error though, but this is for software development. What's the difference between KanBAn and Scrum? KanBAn is almost the same thing as Scrum, just that KanBAn does not have, it have timeline, right? But the board, it's not like it's as strict as Scrum where you have to say this application must be delivered in 1 week, in 1 month. So everything that is going on every day, you'll be tracking it. Everybody will be reporting on every day, having a meeting. Okay, we are done with this. What's next? We are done with that. What's next? KanBAn is just like an open board where you see tasks, you see issues, you just go there and pick it. But you know that those tasks must be completed before the end of that 1 month. You can actually call a KanBAn board. KanBAn board is almost the same as Scrum, just that the only difference, one of the differences is that it has an open ground where you go there and just select your task. You just do your task, deliver your task, and move on to the next. But for Scrum, you have to track it. Okay, let's look at KanBAn fully. Most companies uses KanBAn. If I'm using KanBAn template, I'm just creating a board now. I'm using a KanBAn template. The template is KanBAn. Set and maintain your team. Okay, let's use set a team management project, set a company management. Let's say a team management project. Let's call this team 24 enthusiast Feb. You understand? All I'm just doing now, I'm just introducing you just to the projects, to the tools. Well, we will find time to really dig use it. As if you're a Scrum Master, what I'm doing now is not just going to be just walk through. It's something you have to sit down and you must know how to develop your team. Now it's asking me, do I have a Bitbucket? You know, I told you what's a Bitbucket, just like GitHub, right? Bitbucket is a private GitHub repository, a private Git software source code management, SCM. Please, a minute. I'll call you a minute. Okay, sorry. I just had some distractions. I needed to quickly address it. Okay. Now this is a Bitbucket. If I have a Bitbucket account, if we have a Bitbucket account, maybe all of us have a Bitbucket account, we can link it to it. For example, this is a template of a Bitbucket, we can start to link it to a Bitbucket. But I don't have a Bitbucket account. We don't have yet. Well, do you want us to create a Bitbucket account? We don't have yet, but we can decide to create one. This is one, grant access. This is a Bitbucket, can just have immediate access. Got it. Okay. This is our Bitbucket account. This is just 2 Bitbucket, a simple. I think we should find time to treat this Bitbucket management. Bitbucket is just the same thing. You know, the way GitHub, the way you also use SSH to do your GitHub, same way you use here. You understand? Just that the difference between Bitbucket but they are all just different, but they use the same Bitbucket language. They also use the same Git. Git is the language for source code management. Okay, if I want to clone this repository, the way you clone Git, you call here, you clean, but you must have accepted, either you use SSH or HTTPS. Either you have a private repo, a public repo. These are the source code that I have. These are my repository. If you want to create another repository, you can create it here too. But just that if you want to add, this is the workspace. I want to add my workspace settings. You come here, my key, my access key, you know, the SSH key that we had it last time. We also had it, I think. Let me see on access control. I can add members. Can use 2-factor authentication. Although this is not the purpose, this is not what we are doing today, but let me just show through. This is token management. I think there's a place where we had, you can add your SSH key. Let's leave this workspace. So there's an environmental variable part where you, for example, this is my source code. You can add my security here. Repository settings, who to use it, you understand? I think I'll find time to take this class fully. This is where you add your SSH key. You know, your primary, I think I don't have any SSH key here because I've not really used this particular part. So this SSH key, the public SSH key, that pop part is what you had here. Just add it to your stuff and authenticate. So this is where you authenticate your stuff. Pipeline must enable to repository before SSH can be added. For example, I want to create a repository. I come here. For the which project, I can use any of these projects. Like we have, this is for November session. If we want to create a project, we can create a project. I can add any project. Let's say 7P7 shift. Call it name. Let's say Python and cloud training for enthusiasts Feb. Then does it need any README? I say yes, add the README. Then the branch, just call it, leave it as main branch, then include git ignore. I say yes. So I will spend time. I think I want to find time to treat this Bitbucket. So if I want to, just the way you did that, if you want to clone, just to come here, clone. But the only way I can clone, because Bitbucket is a mostly private repository, you have to authenticate. You have to authenticate first with the workspace before you can use it. Let's go back to our course for today. So now what I just did now, I just added Bitbucket to it. I want to find time to come for that Bitbucket. But since we have treated Git, to do Bitbuckets is going to be very easy for everybody. And the only thing is that the environmental variables, how you set it up. Okay, now this is the board. This is a regular KanBAn. Remember we told Jira that they should give us a KanBAn template. So if you talked about KanBAn, you see
Welcome to your KanBAn template. In the next 2 minutes, we will show you how to get started with this Agile methodology in Jira software.
So if you can come here, please. Come here and just so you can connect to Slack, connect to GitHub, connect to GitLab, connect to SQL. I know Slack now, regular. Slack is just like a Facebook, just like WhatsApp, but it's basically used to communicate between workspace. You can create a group. You can also set up your alert system for monitoring. So this is just a regular KanBAn. This is the roadmap, what you want to do. Normally it's supposed to be 1 month. You can set up your roadmap, set up your epic, your board, what you have done, what is in progress and what is done. This is issue, create issue, in progress. You can call this one issue, let's say test, new, then created issue. If I go to issue now, did I create issue? Test new. Go to what needs to be done. Let's see. Let's create the first one, which is the roadmap. Let's create a roadmap. Let's call this roadmap design. Now I've created a roadmap, epic. That's the epic design. Then I decide to break it down. So, okay, so design a PHP application. But let me not use PHP application. Let me rename it. Let me rename this task. Let me call it install VS Code, Abby. Okay, then I can say, okay, install VS Code. I'll put it as something that needs to be done. So maybe immediately, if I say install VS Code on a VM, I'll describe what you want to do. I will have description here. I'll say, please team, install VS Code on all your workstation. So that is something I want you to do. So I just give you some description here. I can say, okay, I can tie it, I can link it to a website, I can link it to a communication screen, I can add a shared issue, meaning smaller issue upon issue, and I can decide to add an attachment to it. And so this is how KanBAn works. As you are working, maybe this to do. If you want, you can come here and say, okay, I'm already working on it in progress. So by the time I come here, I will see, okay, who is working on it? I have to assign it to somebody. Assign, unassign. I can assign it to somebody in the team. So I just assign it to myself now. So start date. So okay, start today. Today's April. What's today's date? 9, right? Or April. Today's date is 7, right? Okay, 8. Okay, start today. Then due date, I want this assignment to be done before Tuesday next week. Yeah, so this is for development. I can link this to your Bitbucket or your GitHub, to a particular branch of the GitHub. It's time, so I can start to link it. But since I've already linked mine to Bitbucket, I didn't link it to any of the application. I just linked it to my Bitbucket. So you can see, you go on there, you just went to create the repository name. You can call it this repository. So this is the branch. So this is the work I want everybody, this is work I want you to do. Is it a bug fix or release? Anyone can say feature release. So what does that mean? I've created a branch now of this issue that was in this Jira board that we just created now. I've not created it to, I just link it to a Bitbucket. So anybody working on this project now, will see the branch. You can see there's a branch now. Was this what I added it to? Let me see. There's a repository I added it to. Was it this repository? Okay, no, not this repository.
I think it's the first one.
The first one. This one, right? Can see. So immediately you have done here, you push it to this branch, automatically this will update. So I don't need to go to your source code. I don't need to be asking you every time. So anytime I go to, I just assign it to myself. I can assign it to anybody. I can start to assign it to anybody. But since I'm the only one, yeah, that's why it can only show my name file. If there's anybody here, I can assign it to anybody. I want to demonstrate one, today. Then I've assigned it. This is a project, this is a task. I've assigned this task to somebody, and I've also given the time frame. So immediately you are done, depends on what we call done. We have to define done. I can review. This is the task. Then I can review. Then when you are done, you just click done here. Immediately you're done, automatically, the project will close. You click on the project here now, you can see it's done. Then you can see it's striked out, meaning you're successfully done. But for this done to be successful, I will need to create a pull request. You see this branch here, this branch, you have to merge it to the master branch. This one will just have the development branch. So if you merge it and I approve it, then you can go and say done. So our Scrum Master will validate if it was actually merged, it was actually successful, if that features was already done. So I'm the lead that I'm going to validate and say, okay, you are actually done with that particular task. Then you will now move to another task. So that is one of the interesting things about KanBAn. KanBAn, you can go to a KanBAn board, you can see so many things to be done, so many work to be done, so many tasks. You can use roadmap to manage. Some people use this board. You can just, okay, what is the next thing? You can see immediately I put this thing now, the time, you can see the date was actually stated here. You can see the date. You can see. The date was too long. It said from the date supposed to be from year to year, but I was able to deliver in time. And I can call another task. Let's call another task, say, complete Scrum certification. Then it's another task. Oh, sorry. Enter. This is a task. Okay. Now I can assign it to any team lead. I'll now say, okay, please complete or Scrum training. Then can save it. Say, is it a task? Is it action? That's okay. I can add, can create a branch, a site that's branch upon branch. So, okay, how do you do? Now, what are the tasks you need to do for you to be able to know that you are done with the complete task? Okay, read through the materials. And this is one. Then another task on top. I will now say the second task is what? Twice. Repeat the, okay, I can just come here and edit and say twice. Materials. Twice. Enter. I come here and say attempt this certification. And the third one, I also okay. Share your badge. So I can assign this to anybody. I can assign it to everybody here. So immediately you read through the material, you come here. If you have started reading through the material, you say progress. When you are done with the reading material, you say done. You can see one done. Then if you start attempt the exam, you go progress. When you are done with the exam, you say done. Then the badge, you share the badge. Maybe they send you the badge. When they send you sharing the badge, you say done. This one, you don't need to attach this one to any task, you understand? You now come here. So as you are doing progress to progress, you move from progress, then you now come here and you say, when you are done, you put it done, and your supervisor, your lead, or your person that you are reporting to will ascertain the project is complete. You can see, so if I want to see if those of us that have completed the task, I don't need to be calling you. I'll just come here and say, okay, if you have not completed your task, I will now send a message that what is going on? Why have you not completed your task? What are the challenges you are facing? How can I help you? Or is it that you just don't want to do it? Now, I won't tell you if you don't want to. If I notice that all the things you are saying, it's just that you don't want to do it, I will just send you operation. You become an operation risk, which means either we send you through a training or we let you go. Okay. Okay. That is so this is KanBAn. So there's more to it. Don't just think that, KanBAn is very easy. KanBAn, most companies that don't want to do many complications, that understand, mature company. So you cannot just do KanBAn for people that are just starting IT. People that are mature in thinking. Those are the people that use KanBAn. You understand? So for the board, the same thing. You do any work, maybe you create a task, maybe let's say Scrum lab is a task in progress. You can either move it to do or in progress, or you move it to done or move it to done. You see, complete screen. You know, see all the things you've done here that I just put in my roadmap. You can see they are actually automatically here. So that you use your roadmap to plan, or you use here to plan. Some people use this board. You just go to done, go to, you understand? This is the basic things about Scrum and KanBAn. And it's fun. KanBAn is fun. Most of the company I work with, they use KanBAn. Some uses Scrum, you understand? It's always fun. So I think, should we do Scrum? Any question in this? Any question on this? Do you have any question?
Sorry. Okay, so I wanted to say that all right, so I know it's a collaboration tool. Why not let us like create an account and then probably like more like onboard us using the Jira?
That is what we want to do. That is the main.
Okay.
But you understand what we just did, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So what I will do now, I can invite you, or you can create your own account instead. But it's better you create your own account, right? There's an organization account. If I create an organization account, I will now send you my email. I will authenticate your email. You get a message that you've been added to a team. But because I want everybody to be ready for work, right? So I would recommend everybody open your own account or create your own project, create your own company. Then at the end of the day, we'll now come back as we are going to start progressing, starting from tomorrow, next tomorrow. We are going to be, everything we are going to be doing, cybersecurity, I'll give an assignment, walk through, work as if we're actually using Scrum. So that by the time you've round up our training, when you get any job, when you are working, you won't have any issue. You understand? Because you're already familiar with the environment. Is that okay? Is that okay?
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, it's okay by me. Although I joined late, but I think I will catch up.
Okay. Now it's simple. Just go to atlasia.com. Oh God, I'm not comfortable that people are not coming to lab. People are not coming to lab. I know the Easter is sweet, I know. Oh, and
You know they switch for you.
Easter is sweet. I can't see this lady, the other lady. I can't see.
Adiola, right?
I can't see Adiola. I can't see two extra people. I be 4 people. I can't see them. I can't go deep.
So where do you say I will get the Jira?
I'm sending it to you. It's Atlasia. The company that owns Jira is called Atlasia. Judith, do you have any question?
No, I don't.
I believe you've done something like this before, right?
Yeah, I already have CSM, Scrum and certificate.
Oh, certified Scrum Master.
Yeah.
Have you played around with Jira before?
Yeah, I've used Jira and Confluence before.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
In your team, you're going to play the Scrum Master, right?
Okay.
Do you see anything different from what you've learned or something deeper?
No, but it's very, very it's more complicated. Sorry, it's more deep than just like I think you're like giving us summary. There are a lot of things in Jira, many things. So if somebody wants to actually do Scrum, they need to study more further, not like a maybe DevOps engineer, but as a Scrum Master. Because there are many things in Jira on a whole. There's even like many tools. Yeah.
So that's just the truth. As a Scrum Master, you must go deep. For example, it's not that really deep though. I mention something that you have to understand the idea behind everything, the methodology behind everything.
Yes.
According to what she just said, now after learning those ideas, the complexity of your team, the way you are going to excel in that complexity of your team is the amount of idea that you have accumulated. So if you have enough ideas, enough knowledge, you'll be able to explore and succeed and manage your team. You'll be able to know if you have to recommend Jira for them or recommend KanBAn for them. You understand? Don't just look at them and say, today, no, this team must use Jira. But if you join a team, your team already using Jira, you don't have a choice. It will not because of you change. You just have to find a way to blend in.
I actually have one question. So, is there provision for us learning Azure? Is it Azure now? Azure DevOps boards, DevOps boards. Like I think it's like Jira as well.
Yeah,
For management.
it's like Jira. It's much more easier than.
It's
than
more
what
easy.
I'm saying.
If
Yeah,
it's
it's more,
if it's actually easier than Jira, then I can actually learn it. Because
yes,
some of the job description are saying they're asking for Azure DevOps.
Azure DevOps board.
Is it Azure? Yeah. So I would like to. I don't know. I wanted to ask if you are going to teach us that one as well, or I don't know how I can get to learn that one.
Thank you. Okay, now let me give another explanation to this. You see the way Bitbucket is, Atlassian is, same way as Azure DevOps. Azure DevOps have all the tools that you need to manage a DevOps environment. They also have their CI/CD tool, everything. But we may not show you Azure DevOps. But after our training, you should be able to do Azure DevOps effortlessly. You understand? But if we are to use Azure DevOps, meaning we're going to affect all our tools we're going to be learning. And if everybody agrees that we should use Azure DevOps, why not? We use Azure DevOps. But sometimes you also require us using Azure or maybe using AWS in collaboration with Azure DevOps. Understand me? Like look at the Azure DevOps. Can you see my screen? Let me see. I'm not sharing.
Nothing is showing on your screen.
I'm not seeing anything here.
I'm not sharing yet. So remember when I shared Atlassian just now, I showed you all the DevOps tools that Atlassian use, right? I showed you the ITSM. I showed you the Bitbucket, right? I showed you the CircleCI, which is also useful for the pipeline management. The same thing with Azure DevOps. Azure DevOps also have their boards, which is also like an ITSM. You understand? Then they have their pipeline management, which is their CI/CD, Azure pipeline. We have Azure repo, which is same as Bitbucket or same as Git. You understand? We have Artifact, we have Azure test and plan. Yeah, so
there's a link for this. So that
everything, see, anything you get as any, don't worry, by the time you finish our training, there's something I want to show you. You can learn anything, but just for you to just understand the foundation. That's why I'm taking my time to dish out the foundation. You understand? If you understand the foundation, that fear of, is this it? You understand? By the time you break out of that, learning every other thing will become so easy for you, for everybody. So, but don't just focus on Azure DevOps, because some companies don't just use Azure DevOps. Some companies use this on that software. Like you say, Jira is the most popular one. Azure DevOps just came up newly. It's a new DevOps tool, right? Azure DevOps is new DevOps tool. But before Azure DevOps, there was Git. You understand me? After Git, what came into mostly used after Git left, the next thing was Jira, Bitbucket, Atlassian. We can call it Atlassian DevOps. You understand? Most of the tools we are 100% Atlassian. But now, Azure DevOps have come out. Even AWS have their own DevOps tools, in-house DevOps tools called Code Pipeline. You understand? So if you know Azure DevOps, it's going to be a plus for you. If you know Atlassian, it's the same thing. If you know, you understand, just like they belong to different company. You understand? It belongs to Azure DevOps is owned by Azure, which is a Microsoft cloud infrastructure, just like the way AWS is. You know, AWS have their own tools. Then Azure also have their own tools. Oh, please a minute. Hello?
Yeah,
you-
we can hear you. We can hear you.
I think it's on a call.
Today's class, it's not going to be that long. I want to round up now because it's supposed to be 30 minutes. That was the plan. So everybody can still go. But there's so much to learn. There's so much to be done. So much to learn, so much to be done. Excuse me. So what we're going to do, we're going to stop here for now. I'm going to dive deep more into it tomorrow. So what I'm saying is that Azure DevOps, the same way Jira also have their own board. You can see Scrum Ready built inside. This is for board, Azure board. So it's owned by Azure. Azure is also like a public cloud infrastructure. We have not actually gone into cloud infrastructure, right? So we can use Azure board, Azure pipeline. We can decide to use Azure though. But I feel we should use what is popular so that we will not be caught in the mist. So we'll complete tomorrow, we'll continue tomorrow. Don't worry, the fun has just started. You're going to be having more fun. The fun just gets started.